Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be solving a logarithmic equation which is a little non-standard because it has some x in it, so we're going to see what we can do about it. At this point you can go ahead and pause the video and try the problem yourself first. Okay, so we have a really mixed equation here, and what we're going to do is we're going to use substitution, okay? And let's see where that takes us. So the substitution that I'm going to use is going to look like this. I'm going to call log of x with base 2 u. Then, now, from here you can tell that x is going to equal 2 to the power u, so I can go ahead and do that substitution here. But I'm not going to do that. And you're going to see why I don't do it, okay? So let's go ahead and do this now. Replace log of x with u, and then now here at this point, the critical part is you need to leave the x alone, okay? Don't replace x with anything. Okay, now let's put everything on the same side. You may or may not know what to do at this point, but in a little bit we're going to dive into the solution. So now this is what we have. We know that x can be expressed in terms of u, x is equal to 2 to the power u, but we're not doing that here. Why? If you think about it, we can actually solve this equation as a quadratic in u. So that's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to treat this as a quadratic in u, and x is just going to act as a constant here, not a variable, okay? U is going to be our variable here, and x is going to stay as a constant, okay? So let's go ahead and write down the solutions using the quadratic formula. Negative b plus minus the square root of b squared, or I can just square the same thing, doesn't matter, minus 4 times a times c. Since a is 1, I can just go ahead and write that, and all over 2 times a, which is 2. Okay, so that's going to be the key to the solution. But how do we proceed from here? That's the critical part. So make sure to watch at the all the way to the end so you can see the interesting solution. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and simplify this a little bit more. Let's go ahead and simplify inside the radical. I get x squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 8x plus 24. And all of that is divided by 2. Now, inside the radical, I can simplify more. Let's go ahead and do that. I have 1 minus x plus minus the square root of, okay, I have now x squared minus 10x plus 25, okay, and that is divided by 2. As you know, x squared minus 10x plus 25 is a perfect square, which is perfect, right? It can be written as x minus 5 quantity squared. Therefore, when I take the square root, it's actually going to be x minus 5 with the plus minus sign, of course, but it's already taken care of. So we don't have to worry about absolute value here. We can write it like this, okay? Now, at this point, I kind of got u in terms of x, and x can be written in terms of u, so it's kind of like a confusing situation, but let's go all the way to the end. Let's see how this simplifies nicely. Okay, we have two solutions here, and so let's go ahead and do that. And if you remember, back in our equation, this was the logarithmic expression, right? So our domain is actually positive real numbers. So the only solutions that we're not going to accept are going to be the ones that are not negative, okay? I mean, that are not positive, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to start with the positive version. So let's write that first. You'll see that it's nicer. You see that the x cancels out, and I end up with u equals negative 2, okay? So this is kind of nice because it's a numerical answer, and I can find the x value easily from here. So let's go ahead and do that. Log of x base 2 is equal to u, which is negative 2. Using the definition of logarithms, x is going to be 2 to the power negative 2 from here, which is 1/4. So our solution satisfies the domain of the function, so we'll accept it. 1/4 is going to be one of the solutions. But what is the other solution? That's going to be more interesting. Okay, let's do that one. This time the minus version, minus x plus 5 divided by 2. And then if you simplify this, you get 6 minus 2x divided by 2, meaning that u can be written as 3 minus x. Okay, u can be written as 3 minus x, which means what? Okay, so what is u? U is equal to this, right? Log of x. So what I can do is I can actually go ahead and replace u with that right now, like I said I did before, right, for the first solution. So let's go ahead and do that and see what happens. Log of x base 2 is equal to u, which is equal to 3 minus x. Okay, at this point you might be thinking, how am I going to solve this equation? This is not polynomial, this is not just logarithmic, it's actually both. So here's what we need to do. We need to consider these functions, and a very good method of actually having some idea at least about the solution of a problem is making a graph if possible. So what we're going to do is, at this point, we're going to be making a graph of both of these functions, and let's see what happens, how they behave, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do a quick sketch here because we don't really need a detailed graph like the Desmos level. So log of x base 2, as you know, it's going to intersect at 1. It's going to have a x-intercept here, and it's going to go like this, right? As you see, it's an increasing function, concave down, so on and so forth. So just basic graph gives us a lot of information. So this is 1. Okay. On the other hand, we have a linear function, y equals 3 minus x. Obviously, its y-intercept is going to be at 3, and its x-intercept is going to be at 3 again. So this line is actually going to go through these 2 points. So let's see if we can make a nice graph here. Something like this, okay? This will do. Now, what is very important about these 2 functions is that this is a decreasing function, and this is an increasing function. And what happens with these kinds of functions is that they will only intersect at 1 point, okay? They will only intersect, and obviously my graph is a little off, so it won't give you a really nice solution here, but you will notice that even without graphing, you could test it, and you would see that x equals 2 is a solution, okay? But what is more important is that x equals 2 is the only solution to this equation. Why? Because they can only intersect at 1 point. This is the only solution we have. So x equals 2 is a valid solution because x is greater than 0. So which means that this is going to be our second solution. As you know, our first solution was 1/4, and the second solution is 2. So we have 2 solutions to this equation, and that's it. Okay? So we use a little bit of analytical geometry here to come up with the solution. Okay? Thank you for watching. We'll continue to do more videos. Please let me know what you think. Comment, subscribe, and like the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.